How many breads do you want?
2.
2? Can I get you some?
Uncle Bill, I come in here for a reason today.
Huh?
I come for a reason today.
What's that?
I need for you to write your mother's name down.
For what?
I mean your grandmother's name down. Your grandmother.
I don't know what all her name is.
Huh?
I don't know what my grandmother's name is.
Are you sure you don't want it on this barbecue, Bill?
No, I don't eat barbecue.
I mean it's fresh. They just put it got it off the stove. Got it out of the oven. Good barbecue. Good barbecue.
You want to come in here and eat or what? At the bar?
No, can I eat right here? I just eat right here if that'd be okay. Hey, thank you. Will you open the door and look and make sure that dog's still tied to that tree and he ain't pulled that tree down?
Let me see.
He may have done already got the tree completely out of the root.
Tree's gone. The dog is too.
Does the deer still come over here and visit you from time to time? Yeah. You know,
Most dogs are chase deer.
You know, as long as they've been coming over here, Uncle Bill, you probably got them tamed by now where you can walk up and just feed them.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Most dogs run after a deer.
Well, what do you think about my dog?
The one is a nice looking little old dog.
Didn't you used to have dogs?
Say what?
Didn't you used to have dogs back in the day?
Yeah, dog's a dog. The kids, they got dogs.
Yeah.
Raven's got an old dog, and it's a grouchy old dog.
Is he old?
Is he old? Oh, about 8 years old.
Not pretty old for a dog.
Yeah. All that. The big dogs, they'll live sometime up to 12 or 13 years old.
Yep. I had that in check the other day. I was up here in Paris, and I took him by the vet to check him, make sure he didn't have no worms.
Mm-hmm.
They stuck a probe up his rear end,
Yeah.
and I heard him yell, "Doop!" And I knowed it was him.
Oh.
Takes about 15 minutes, and they can tell you real quick whether or not your animal's got worms or not. If the animal don't have worms, they don't need a worm in it.
Well.
Did you know that?
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
Oh, I raised those dogs for years, hunting dogs. Pointers.
Did you ever take them to the vet?
No, I didn't take them no vet. I ordered my own shots and give them shots and everything.
Did you?
Give them just temper shot.
You remember what kind of dogs it was?
There's pointers.
Oh, okay.
Pointer dogs.
Retrievers.
Yeah, they retrieve.
Like Labrador retrievers?
One of those long, shaggy dog.
Like a Labrador retriever?
Yeah. It was a pretty old dog, probably about 4 or 5 year old. Yeah, I hunted them.
Do you miss getting out and doing that, Uncle Bill?
No, not anymore. I did for a while. I ain't able to do it no more.
What's the best bird hunting you've ever done? Pheasant hunting? You ever went pheasant hunting?
No, I just hunted old quail. Done just very little duck hunting, very little.
Boy, it's got to the point now you got to be a daggum rich person to go duck hunting now, don't you?
Yeah.
Huh?
You need a spoon?
No, I got one. Yeah, you got to be a duck hunt. You got to be a rich person now to afford.
Well, you got to be a rich person to even fish now. They got these things that you can see fish down in the water, and it costs about $7,000-8,000 to see it. Trolling motors is about $7,000-8,000. The thing that anchors the boat down, it's about another $7,000-8,000. A boat about Well, and both about $10,000.
Well, listen. I
$20,000.
understand. A reason why I come by here was to ask you about Grandma's full name.
Who? My grandma.
Your great grandmother.
I don't know what her full name was. It was Mary Margaret. She had a big long name.
Mary Margaret.
And something else. It was about 7, 8 names. The only name I ever remember was a Gray's number. His name was William Watson Campson Grays.
Who was that?
That was a Grays feller.
Well,
Winford Grays' daddy.
Well, they didn't have nothing to do with the Jordans.
No, didn't have a thing in the world to it. I don't know why I remembered his name. But my grandmother, it was a real long name, and we just called her Granny. That's all we ever called her. It's Mary Margaret and Rebecca. It was a whole bunch of names in it. What do you want to know that for?
I've been hunting, cemetery hunting, walking in cemeteries.
Well, what are you hunting for the dead for?
Sometimes the dead can reveal stuff to the living.
Well, I don't know. Did they talk to you?
Mm-mm. No. Nobody talks. Nobody talks. They talk to you by what's written on their headstone.
Well, ain't nothing just when they're born and died. That's about it.
But I think you're getting your adopted great grandmother mixed up with your real grandmother, because your real grandmother you never knew.
I never knew. All I knew was a granny. That was the one that we kept for years and years.
That's the one that raised y'all, helped to raise y'all. That's the one that you was acquainted with. But the other one, you really didn't know what y'all called her, because she died whenever you was how old? Actually, she died whenever Lucille was born.
My mother's mother died.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know what her name was.
Well, where's she buried at?
I have no idea.
How come nobody was interested in where she was buried at?
Back then, when people died, they buried them in their backyards. Back a long time ago. People back a long time ago, they don't even know how old they were, really. They didn't have no birth certificates. The only thing they done, some of them wrote it down in the family Bible when they was born.
Wow.
But we're talking back in the early 19s, you know, and 18.
Well, when was your mother born? She was born 1901, right? 1901.
Yeah. I've got a driver's license somewhere. I don't know where they at.
1901. So that means didn't her mother die shortly after she had her?
I guess. All I know is that she died when she was a child.
How old was she whenever she had Lucille?
My mother never talked about it because she didn't know her or nothing.
Didn't you ever have a desire to want to know these people?
No, sir.
Well, whenever you die, don't you think you're going to have to confront these people?
Do what?
When you die, providing you go to heaven, and I pray to God that you will, and I believe that you're going to heaven. I believe you're going to heaven. Well, if she's in heaven, you're going to have to confront this person, Uncle Bill.
Well,
and she's going to ask you, how come you didn't take enough interest in my life to even find out where I was buried?
Well, that's the same thing God's going to ask you. How come you didn't vote and take the responsibility of voting?
Well, that's probably true, too. I was scared to vote this year.
Well, you ask the Lord to tell you who
Have
to
you
vote
ever seen the like of stuff going on up there right now? I mean, that Donald Trump character, he's rattling their cages, ain't he?
Well, he's getting more things straightened out. He's cutting all these taxes out and shutting a lot of stuff down that we had to pay taxes on. And he's thinking about shutting down and have to file no income tax.
I've never seen things get out of hand like this. Have you?
World has changed.
They was saying today on the news before I left to come up here that we have been given not millions, but billions of dollars to places again and again and again, and we really don't know where the money's been going or what it's been doing.
Some Democrats done it. They give all the money to foreign countries, billions of dollars, and let the people in this country starve to death.
Well, no. Well, how about all them people up in East Tennessee and North Carolina? I mean, we can't even take care of our own
They didn't have
people.
the money to give them. They give it all them people coming into the country. Them Democrats did. Give every one of them $5,000 and a place to sleep and eat and a telephone.
You
It
talking
was
about
stupid.
you talking about the foreigners?
Say what?
You talking about the immigrants? The immigrants.
Coming in the country. Yeah, they offered them people up yonder $750. That wasn't even buying groceries. And some of them, they wouldn't even give the money to.
Well, that Knoxville got hit last night by a tornado. It killed a mother and a daughter in the same house.
Where's that at?
Knoxville, up in
Last night?
Williamson County or whatever county that is up there.
The Democrats ruined this country the last 4 years they was in charge here.
I don't see how.
They destroyed it.
How come people let that happen?
Huh. People couldn't do nothing about it. They had control. Everything that Trump done good, they made a point to destroy.
They sure did. Did you know gasoline never got over $2 a gallon during his term, his first term?
It's the what?
On his first term, the national gas never got over $2 a gallon.
Yeah,
Never got over $2.
yeah.
And now what is it? About $3.50?
No, it's in $2 range, about $2.50, $2.70, something like that.
Oh, that's what I meant. $2.50. Yep. Well, I bet you your mother and your grandmother and all your other ancestors is rolling around in their graves seeing what's went on down here with all this stuff.
Well, if they was to come back alive, it'd scare them to death what's going on right here. This
It
stuff.
would. It would. It really would.
It'd scare them. They wouldn't know what to think about. Automobiles going down the road at 50 to 70 miles an hour. Planes are flying through the air that you can't hardly see them, it's so fast.
People paying as much now for an automobile, probably twice as much for an automobile than what you used to. Well, you probably bought your house originally in Dyer for probably less than $30,000, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I didn't give about $10,000, $12,000 for it.
And now you're gonna pay $100,000 for a car
Yeah,
or a truck.
truck cost you. Just plain old truck cost about 50, 60,000. Old dually truck's $100,000. Everything's all out of port. A dozen of eggs now is $4 and $5. $1 dozen eggs is $4 and $5. Everything's out of portion.
Yeah, it's out of whack.
It's just messed up.
It's imbalanced. It's imbalanced. It's no longer got a balance to
They
it.
just charge what you want to, and that's it.
You think people are taking advantage of people as far as gouging
Oh,
people?
yeah. Every time I go to the grocery store and buy something, something's up. My insurance went up, my car insurance went up, my house insurance went up, my supplement insurance went up, and they give my Social Security
2.5% raise.
They give a 2.5% raise, and they took it all back. You know what my check amounts to? $28 more than it was last year. And everything, my supplement insurance went up almost $700 more a year.
Good grief. Well, you know what they spent on me? On my left ankle and having that operation last
No
year?
telling.
I ain't lying to you. $487,000.
Yeah, you can go up there to this hospital and stay a week and you'll have be lucky to get out for $100,000 bill.
Really? A poor man ain't gonna make it, is he? Poor man ain't gonna make
Everything is
it.
out of port. J. Ray Hobbs over here, he was gonna carry his lawnmower and get it fixed. He called a fella that worked on lawnmowers, and the man told him up front, says, we charge $175 an hour to work on the lawnmower. $175 an hour. You get worth of a lawnmower getting you worked on.
You better off just going and buying you another one, ain't
Well, I
you?
don't know. A regular lawnmower now is cost $28,000 and $29,000. You want zero turning mowers?
Where are you coming up with all these figures at, Uncle Bill?
You go start pricing them, and you see where I'm coming up with them. Chris bought a brand new Dodge truck, $96,000.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It ain't a lot of money no more. It used to be $100,000 don't buy much no more.
That's right. That's true.
It won't buy much.
Well, the way that they tax you, they claim that whatever percentage that you make, like if you do make $100,000 in a year, by the time you get through paying all the taxes, in actuality, you only made $50,000. Cut it in half. Because all the money going to all these different countries, supporting all these different countries, and feeding all these different people. That, let me ask you a question. You know a little bit about the Bible. You know, the Good Samaritan in the Bible that I'm pretty sure you heard the message preached on. The Good Samaritan, he only helped that guy that he found temporarily.
Yeah.
He didn't become a lifetime investment in trying to help that guy. Way I understand it, he got him on his horse and he took him.
Well, he's the only one to come by and help him. Everybody else passed him.
That's right. But he took him to some sort of an end or something,
Yeah.
and told that guy that was in there that he was fixing to leave to go ahead and tend to that guy, and if he owed him any money, he would pay him whenever he come back, correct?
That's the way I understand it, yeah.
Okay. This is my point. We are recommended, we are required to help people if we see them in dire. If we see somebody on the road, or if we see somebody having a heart attack, but that don't mean that we're supposed to obligate our whole life to them, does it?
No. This day and time, you don't know whether to help somebody or they're pulling a trick on you. You got to be careful. People are thieves and they're crooks now.
Can't trust nobody.
You can't trust them. You can't pick nobody up out here on the road walking no more.
No.
You can't do that no more.
No.
It's dangerous.
That'd be dangerous.
I mean, that's the kind of world we're in. We're in a dangerous world. God give you enough sense to know what you need to do. But the world has changed, and it's going to change some more.
It's gotten mean. You hear me?
Huh?
It's gotten mean.
Yeah, it's got mean. Evil. The evil's taking over. These Democrats were pushing this evil stuff. I don't know how they thought that it was going to do any good. It was going to hurt them too. They kept pushing it. Communism. They wanted communism. Socialism.
Well, wasn't it Obama in his presidency that the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriages? You remember that?
Yeah, that's not a marriage. They can call it a marriage. A man and a man cannot be married. That's not a marriage. They can call it a marriage, but it ain't a marriage. God don't recognize that.
Wonder why they done it.
It's evil. The devil's took over.
You think they done that so that somebody's lover, that if that person died, that they could still get their inheritance, that whatever that person had? You think that's the reason why they done that?
I don't know. I don't see how in the world anybody can be that way. I don't understand it.
It's the word for that is
Solomon.
they've been what is the word I'm looking for? Perverted. They've been perverted. In other words, we've been taught, because of different things that's come into our lives, that we're supposed to be just like them. And that's acceptable in the eyes of God to be that way. You know, whenever they took the Bible and the Pledge of Allegiance out of school, which was long about 1962 or 1963, did you know that was done intentionally? Not because of the separation of church and state, but it was because they wanted to conform.
Well, this atheist stuff, that was wrong. The atheists got their wave on it. They wanted it out of school.
Didn't they want to take it completely off the dollar bill? Did you ever hear that one time? In God We Trust, on the back of our money. Wasn't there talk at one time about taking that completely off our currency?
I've got some money, don't have it on it now.
You do?
I got a $20 bill, I think a $10 bill, and a $5 bill does not have In God We Trust on it.
You think that was a fluke?
Well, they claim it was a mistake. That's what they claim. They claim it made a mistake, but I think it was done on purpose.
I bet that money be worth some money. I bet that money would be worth something to a collector.
Gosh, I've had it for 30 years or better.
You have?
Yeah.
That's probably about whenever they was going to do all that, huh?
And I got 12 silver dollars.
Did you get them as a?
I've had them.
Like
Jason got them in church. I remember something about the Bible in church. The man gave him 12 silver dollars.
So you got a collection?
Don't really have a collection. I only got one actually silver dollar, 19 something. It's full solid silver. The rest of them's got that little brass looking stuff in them.
Gotcha.
I've got 40 something dollar Kennedy $50. And I got a lot of foreign money.
How in the world did you come across foreign money?
Well, just got it. Got a jar full of it. Got mixed up. It's got copper, silver, and some other kind of metals in it.
Did you
coins.
Did you obtain that whenever you had your business? Is that whenever you obtained it?
I don't know. I just come up on it somehow or other. I don't remember how I got it. I got to think when I worked up north.
But it's got all kinds of different nationalities on it.
It's got all kinds of different nationalities there.
Huh. Well, that jar may have some money in there worth $1 million.
We had some silver, solid silver, forks, spoons, and knives and stuff. Had it and kept it for years. Well, Betty got started keeping it, and we sold it about 25 years ago over at Murray for $40-something. It would probably bring $5,000 or $6,000 now if we'd have kept it.
I'll be dog.
It was solid silver. Best I remember, the name of it was Rogers. Of course, back a long time ago, that's what the stuff was. It was silver. They made it out of silver.
Well, junk you get today, it's junk.
Yeah.
Plastic. I mean, it just fall apart. Like you buy a vehicle and you run into somebody, barely bump it, all of a sudden everything flies off of it.
Well, they build them that way. They build them to fly all to pieces when they get hit.
Why?
They absorb the shock. Some of the spot welds in the back of the wheel houses back there, they bust.
They do.
The shock runs all through the body of the car, and it breaks some of the wheel wells back there. That's when they get totaled out, you know.
Well, nowadays it don't take much to total one, does it? If it's got any miles on it.
Gosh, I don't know. The highest cars are. The Laurie, somebody hit and run her. She's got a Subaru. It messed up the little tail thing back here. It comes down and the rear bumper. You know what it cost to get it fixed? Over $5,000 to put a rear tailgate on it, brand new, and a rear bumper brand new. They didn't do no straightening at all. Replaced that tailgate swings up in the rear bumper.
Parts replacement.
It was over $5,000.
You're saying just for parts replacement?
Parts, yeah. But people don't straighten stuff no more.
No, they don't.
I don't know if they don't know how to do metal or what, how to work metal or what.
Well, no, it's because the metal don't have the iron and don't have the different qualities in it no more, and it's almost next to impossible because once it goes in to work it out, it just flip flops. It's just tin can.
Shrink it. You know, I always take the little torch and
You put a torch to that stuff and it'll melt just like that. You can't. It's. And you got all them body lines and all that stuff now. I mean, it's.
Well, they don't straighten nothing.
I'll put it this way. You know, most fenders got 10 millimeter bolts. Some of them may have 12 or 13 millimeter, going with the millimeter standard. But let's say a 10 millimeter, right? 10 millimeter in a Toyota Camry. Whenever you go to tightening them bolts up on that fender, if you tighten that one front bolt up just a little bit too tight, it will widen the gap about 3 centimeters, the thickness of probably 3 or 4 dimes, and then it won't line up with the headlight, then it won't line up with the rest of the stuff. It's just everything is so tedious.
I never did have that trouble. I always just pulled it up there and put it.
You were still working on vehicles that had good metal in it, I'm telling you right now.
That was what, 25 years ago?
Yeah, you were still working on vehicles that had some decent metal to it. Today, I'm telling you, it ain't nothing like it was. It ain't even close. It ain't even close. Well, I've had just about all that on. I should have got some barbecue sauce. I didn't get no barbecue sauce. Should have put some barbecue sauce on it.
Wow.
But anyways, I wanted to come by here because I tried to call. I bet I called probably 4 or 5 times, and I got to worrying about you, especially whenever I come to the porch and I seen this curtain right here open, and I could hear the TV, and I thought to myself, well, maybe he's in there. Maybe he's in there in the floor somewhere dead. I was fixing to call Reba.
No, I've been down in the building. I just come in out from the bathroom washing my hands and stuff.
I'm just saying, I was fixing to call Reba.
Yeah.
Cause I got worried about you. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then I got to thinking, well, maybe something's happened to him. Maybe he never recuperated from that sickness he had, and maybe he's in the hospital, or maybe he's dead. And they opened up the curtains and turned the TV on to make it look like somebody was in here. Somebody was in here watching TV. I don't know.
Yeah, there in front when you called.
I don't know how your TV is, but my TV, if there ain't nobody sitting and watching it, if it just sits in here, I don't know if it's got movement that it can tell that somebody's in the room. But my TV will go out in probably about 3 or 4 hours. It'll just go completely dead.
It shuts down.
It shuts down.
Yeah, well, that will shut down every now and then.
Yeah.
They call that the smart TV, and I don't like it. I don't like nothing about it.
I thought her name had to do with something. Valvia, something like that.
What's that?
Valvia. I think Carrie Lee knows her name.
No, whose name?
Your grandmother, the one that died whenever Lucille come into the world.
He knows it.
I'm pretty sure he does.
I don't know what her name was. I have no idea.
Well, where was they at whenever they had her? Do you think that they was up in the Union City area?
I don't know. I think that they was around that area up there. I don't know for sure. My mother, Butch, come from Oklahoma.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, that's where her dash allowance to come from, is up in Oklahoma. And I don't know how Daddy and her got together, but she was an Oklahoma woman. That's the way I understand it. Now I don't know.
And you're talking about your granddad, that his last name was James, correct?
James,
Kin to Jesse James.
yeah, that's what they said. I don't know.
But anyway, somehow or another, he wound up out west and come this way.
Yeah, he come to Tennessee.
But you really don't know the history of it?
No,
So you really don't know what her maiden name would have been towards who her people would have been.
no. My daddy had a sister.
Of course, they're all dead now.
My daddy, of course, had 4 or 5 brothers, and I know of one sister, and I can't even think of what her name was. I only seen her 1 or 2 times.
Did they live in Tennessee?
Yeah, they lived. I don't know where they lived. Some of them, one of his brothers lived in McConnell, Tennessee.
McConnell. Where's McConnell
That's
at?
between Union City and somewhere, a little place called McConnell. His name was Ansel.
Hansel?
Ansel Jordan. You had Tot, Jake, Ansel, Toki, and Tot. Tot had Tot. Tot was the youngest. Tot worked at Union City at ice cream place years ago.
Wow.
And he thought he needed a raise. And he went in one office that morning, told him that he needed a raise. They told him, said, Todd, just give us a few days to think this over, and we'll let you know what we'll do. So 2 or 3 days went by, and he come in one morning. They called him in the office, and they said, Todd, says, now we give you 1.5 cents raise, and we do not want you to say nothing to nobody about this. Todd kind of stuttered a little bit. He said, you need to worry, I'm just as damn ashamed of it as y'all are. And he quit. He worked at the ice cream Swiss place in Fulton.
I'm a dog.
I ate Swiss ice cream when I was a kid. It was real good.
Yeah.
Swiss ice cream.
Oh yeah, Swiss ice cream's good.
Yeah, he told him he was just damn ashamed of it as he was.
Now your grandfather's name was what? His first name?
My grandfather,
No.
my daddy's side,
Yeah.
I don't know. We just called him granddaddy. I don't know what his name was.
I'm talking about Lucille's dad.
His name was
John?
Paul.
Paul James.
Paul James. Paul.
Was he the oldest in the family?
Paul? I don't know. He was bad about drinking. I remember that. He stayed, when I was just a real small kid, he stayed all night one time at our house. I can remember that. And after that, I don't know whether he died or he got killed in a car wreck or what. I don't know.
Well, he didn't live to be about 56.
Say what?
He didn't live to be only 56.
I don't know how old he was when he died.
56. And wasn't he a painter? Didn't he paint houses and work on?
I don't know what he done.
You just know that he was a drinker.
He drank. He was bad about drinking.
Well, according to Carrie Lee, whenever the 1916 or 1918 Spanish flu broke out, he was probably already in his 20s, maybe even a little older. And according to Carrie Lee, they'd go around passing out food, but they never would go to the people's house. They would throw it to them, and it'd go on the porch, and then they'd come out and then they'd get the food. Did you know that right now there's a pandemic, just about on the verge of a pandemic toward people being hospitalized over a breathing disease of some sort right now?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like 70 different schools have shut down in the state of Tennessee. Was you aware of that?
Yeah, I know. The flu has been bad. This flu, it's just bad worse every year.
It seems like it does, don't it?
Yeah.
And it's attacking the children.
When I was a kid, there was a government thing out, the WPA, called the WPA. The government had that out, and my daddy worked at that WPA.
Who started that?
The government started it.
Was that Roosevelt?
I guess it was Roosevelt, yeah. And there was another kind of like it. I forgot the name of it. It was the WPA.
Did you know that 3,800 people died, United States citizens died building the Panama Canal?
Died building the Panama Canal.
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, they all done it by hand. They didn't have no.
They died of malaria and mosquito bites and snake bites and all other kind of stuff.
Wound up giving it away after doing it.
And that don't make sense neither, Uncle
No.
Bill. Why would we have done something like that?
The Democrats done it. The Democrats don't.
It was Carter that done that. Carter done that. Carter was a Democrat, right?
The Democrat.
See, he just died not too long ago.
Yeah, 100 years, lived to be 100.
One of the oldest presidents the United States ever had.
Well, the Democrats, they don't know how to run nothing.
I think
They
that. Do
destroyed
you think maybe that they've deliberately tried to ruin us? Because Donald Trump talks about the enemy from within. And he also talks about the deep state. What is the deep
I
state?
don't know.
I know you've heard him talk about the
Yeah,
deep state.
I know, but I ain't got.
What
no
is the
knowledge of
deep
that shit.
state? Is that got something to do with the Confederacy, with the South?
No, I don't think so. I don't know what that is yet. That's just come up here in the last week or two. But Donald Trump, he's getting rid of a lot of stuff. He's shutting a lot of stuff down. The government, our government is too big. It's costing too much money to run it. He's shutting some of it down. And all them official men that old Biden appointed to check on people's income.
I went to bed
He
tonight.
put them on the border down there.
I went to bed the night before last, and they said that 40,000 people had already signed up for the buyout.
For what?
The buyout. The buyout. In other words, the
buyout.
government is offering them a buyout. That if they'll take an early buyout,
I ain't heard that.
yeah. That way the government don't no longer have to feed them or take care of them or none of the above. They take a buyout. And then I woke up the next morning and they were talking about 60,000 people in the federal government had agreed to take the buyout.
Well, yeah, he's getting rid of them. He's closed the border down, and he's sending all these people back come in here, these thieves.
He ain't just shut the border down. He told Mexico that he was fixing to bring tariffs upon them, and they agreed to put 10,000 their troops, Mexican troops, on the border.
Yeah, they're shutting it down.
On the border.
Yeah.
And the guy up there in Canada, he basically agreed to do the same thing. I didn't realize that we had a problem up there, did you?
Well, Canada, we're getting all oil out of Canada right now. We're getting oil out of Canada.
Did you know another airplane went out?
See why?
Another airplane went down.
Yeah. It's two gone down just recently.
No, I know that, but there was the one that went down last night in
Oh, I don't know
Alaska.
about that one.
Killed 10 people. They can't find it. They can't find an airplane. Of course, Alaska's a big state.
Somebody's trying to making them a crash. Something's happening. These Democrats, they up to something because they're trying to get Trump. They're trying to impeach Trump. They can't do it now. Trump is trying to put the government, putting limits on these Democrats, on all these politicians. 4 or 8 years and they're out. They can't run no more. Them suckers, some of them been in there 30 and 40 years and they ain't done nothing.
Nancy Pelosi.
She ain't done. She ought to be in jail.
How about that guy from Kentucky? Flinch or Rent. What's his name?
Oh, wait a minute. I just see him. I'll call his name in a minute.
He's another crook.
Yeah, he's a crook.
They're crooker than a back leg on a dog.
I think he's getting out.
They're crooker than a back leg on a dog. You hear me?
Yeah.
That's pretty crooked. I can't believe that our people sat back and allowed for that to get this far out of hand.
They have been crooked for the last 2 or 3, well, it goes back to about 20 or 30 years. They've been crooked about this voting, and they putting their own self back in there, see? That's what they've done. They've been crooked. And Trump has found out what they've been doing, and he's stopping it, and they don't like it.
So you're saying go all the way back to the Bush era? Bush...
way back further than that, really. It goes way back. These guys has been in there for 20 and 30 years. They've been pulling crooked stuff to stay in there.
They're professional politicians.
Yeah, they're professional crooks. And they've made a big fat living off our taxpayers.
They have embezzled. They have embezzled the American people. We've been embezzled.
That's what they've done. Mitch McCollum is his name.
That's him? That's him?
He needs to go.
I looked him up. You know how much money he's worth?
How much?
$400 million.
Yeah, he stole it off the taxpayers.
$400 million. Nancy Pelosi's right up there with him.
Yes, sir.
These people were...
They all get the insurance free. They get the big salaries when they get out of politician. They ought to draw Social Security just like the rest of the people.
Not only that, but they get free medical.
Oh yeah.
The rest of their lives.
They don't pay for that.
And have you ever noticed this? Whenever they decide that they want to make a little bit more money, they just vote in their own raise.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that?
Their raises ought to be voted on. People ought to vote on what to get and what they ought to get.
Well, they're the ones that do the vote.
Yeah.
They can vote themselves. They could probably vote 2 or 3 raises a year if they wanted to.
They give their own self raises.
It's crooked. And how about the Supreme Court? Once they get in office, they're in there for a whole lifetime.
The Supreme Court's not doing their job no more. They're crooks too now.
Well, it was the Supreme Court that legalized same-sex marriage in Obama's term.
Yeah.
And you know, whenever they done that, the world went freaking bizarre because there was red, white, and blue rainbow colors all over Paris and all over all them other countries. And it's like everybody took the lead and they followed in behind.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah. Yeah, Obama, he's a queer himself.
Did you know that that's one of the stipulations in Russia that they despise is queers and lesbians. They despise them.
Yeah, I know it. Well, somebody said, "Oh, Putin is a Christian." I can't hardly believe he's a Christian, but they said he was.
He's got Jewish descent.
Got what?
Jewish descent.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's supposed to be a Christian.
But I don't know what the war. Of course, Israel's in war, and Ukraine is in war, and Russia. You know, I don't. Biden's the cause of that war.
Do you think that Putin would have went on in there and done what he done to the Ukrainians if Donald Trump would have been president on that second term?
Happened. See, when Trump was in there, Ukraine agreed to give Russia a certain part of the land, and they agreed on that. And then when
but
Biden
isn't that an internal?
He took it away from told Ukraine to take that away from Russia, and that caused the war.
But isn't that an internal problem? Kind of like a civil war between family? You know what I'm saying? It ain't like that Russia invaded another country. Russia invaded his own people.
Yeah.
Are those that departed from the original government of
but
Russia?
Biden caused that war. He made Ukraine take that land back, and when he took it back, that caused Russia to cause them to start a war.
Well, you know whenever all that happened, don't you? They broke away whenever the falling of the Berlin Wall and whenever Russia collapsed.
Yeah.
They had to go bankrupt. I think it was in 1991, and that's basically whenever they basically separated. They separated.
Well, see, back a long time ago, Americans saved Russia because Germany was taking over Russia.
I know.
And the Americans went in there and saved Russia.
Yes, sir.
Give the country back to them.
Yes, sir. But they claim also, Uncle Bill, that Russia used to own Alaska, right?
Yeah, he did. We bought it from them.
And Russia also owned part of California. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. But I knew he owned Alaska. And
But if you get to looking at the history of Russia, they used to own that whole freaking continent over there.
I don't know
Where
how
France
Russia
and
got
all that is.
there.
They used to own all that going all the way back like in the 1500s. They've lost a lot of their property. They really have. And I think what infuriated the president over there was that so many people was joining up with the United Nations, and he probably felt like that he was being pinned in.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's what's going on, but it's going to be some bad changes made.
Well, is it possible that what Donald Trump is doing right now could backfire on us?
No, I don't think so. I think he's trying to stop the war. He's trying to get Russia and Israel out of war. He said it would never happen if he'd been in there. Donald Trump is not a politician. He's a businessman. He knows how to run a business. He knows what to do to get a business going. He's a businessman.
He knows how to wheel and deal, don't he?
He's smart. He knows how to deal with people.
He knows how to wheel and deal, that's for sure. But I don't think it was I don't think it was necessarily the best move in doing a sweep out whenever he pardoned, what was it, 1,500 people, and they all got out of jail pertaining to that ordeal that happened January the 6th.
Yeah, them people were railroaded. They just put them in jail. And this one woman, she said she wasn't going to take his pardon. She didn't like him. She wasn't going to take his pardon. She's going to stay in jail. Good enough. Let her rot in jail. He pardoned them all because they got railroaded up there.
They was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, don't you think?
Well, they wasn't doing nothing. They wasn't breaking the law or doing nothing. They invited the law, let them all come in, and then they arrested them. That's what the Democrats pulled.
I personally think, this is what I think, we all got a right to think whatever that we want to think, right? Correct? But I think that they was using the big lie pertaining to the steel. I think that they was actually using that for an excuse. If the truth be known, people's eyes got awakened whenever Donald Trump was in there the first time and realizing something horribly has happened whenever we was already at that time, right at $30 trillion. And that was on the latter end of COVID. I think COVID helped to wake a lot of people up and they started paying more attention to what the heck are they doing up there? How much money are we in debt on? And that's what rattled them. That's what rattled them. And if the truth be known, they was only trying to fulfill their patrioticness in going up there and doing what they done. And they was just using the big steal pertaining to the election being stolen. They was just using that as an excuse.
Well, it was crooked. The elections have all been crooked, but it's just now coming out what they've been doing.
I'm getting mail, James Robert Jackson, that has been dead now since 2008. 2008. This is 25, so it's been almost another 3 months. It's been 18 years, and I'm still getting mail at our address in James Robert Jackson's name. It sometimes it's usually insurance.
Well, I get it embedded in Jason's mail.
It's usually insurance, But sometimes it'll be other departments in other places. And one time I got an ag thing because, we dealt in the farming industry. But you're telling me that you still get Betty May and Jason's mail?
Yeah.
So that tells me right there that they don't never mark them off. Why?
Well, I don't know. It's just something they go back.
So is dead people really voting, Uncle Bill?
Yeah, but dead people have been voting.
Dead people.
Yeah.
Because they keep their name alive.
Yeah.
Really?
But Jason, he got something about his checking account got targeted, and he got a mail that they caught the people done it, but they never did get the money out of his account. But they caught the people, and I just got a letter about 6-8 months ago that they said they caught the people doing that.
And
Women of them had a check that they had made on their money, their check. They made out a check with their businesses, tried to cash a $3,000 check, and she caught it. And the people that done it, was right in California, done it, but they ain't caught them. Everybody is crooks. They're trying to get something for nothing.
They are, ain't they?
If they put their smarts to good instead of bad, it'd be a lot better. They're smart to figure out how to do that kind of stuff.
Sure they are. I mean, they can go in and steal people's identity
Yeah.
out of banks and stuff. You know what?
They had where they think that they walk by and they get your credit card by just walking by you in your pocket. They had to change
We're
your
no
credit card.
we're no longer living in the same world, are we, Uncle Bill?
Oh, it's a different world. And it's going to get different too. It's going to get more different.
You think there'll actually be flying cars one day?
See what?
Do you think that there'll actually be people flying around in stuff that looks like drones or flying
Probably.
cars or something?
Probably. There ain't no telling what it's going to be like. They can fight a war right now with these drones and stuff.
And robots.
Robots, yeah.
My cousin told me the other day that they got a robot over in Russia. They said you can do anything. And that robot would duplicate every move you make. He said it don't matter if you was to pull down your pants and whack your tater off. He said that robot would do it too.
Well.
Now how can that be?
It's just computers. It's all run by computers. They control it. These computers, they can shut this whole world down with them computers.
See, that's what I'm afraid is going to happen.
They can shut it down.
And if that was to happen, do you realize that it would throw us back off into the dark ages? Did you know that there's less than 2% of the American people today that's associated with the agriculture community?
Yeah.
Did you know at the turn of the century in 1900, it was 62% that was associated with the agriculture communities if they wasn't doing nothing else but delivering the milk? 62% of the people was associated with agriculture in 1900.
Yeah.
They didn't have all these smokestack factories and all this stuff. Plastic hadn't even been developed. They didn't know what plastic was.
Oh.
And there's a lot of materials out there that today we have that even in my lifetime they didn't have. Just like all them computer chips and all them phones and stuff, we didn't have all that stuff.
Oh. Well, this plastic stuff.
It's evolving. It's evolving. So my question is this: what is it evolving to?
Yeah.
What are we going to become?
Plastic is hard to get rid of. Metal will rot, eventually rot. Plastic,
Aluminum won't.
Get rid of it.
Aluminum won't. Did you know that whenever we first moved to Tennessee in 1966 or 1967, one of the first things Dad built was a little bitty old shed out there right next to the road, basically big enough where you could put like a small car in. Did you know that shed is still standing? You know why? Because every piece was aluminum. I don't know where he got it up. He got it up in Chicago somewhere, but it ain't never rotted, not 1 ounce.
Aluminum will deteriorate if it ain't painted. It will deteriorate.
Well, it takes a long time because
Oh, it
it's still
takes a long
standing,
time.
and it's got louvers
It
in
gets
it.
corrosion on it, and it'll start deteriorating. Now, if it's painted, it won't do that.
Well, this is corrugated. It's got corrugated, and
Is it painted?
no, it ain't painted.
Well, if you look at it real close, you probably can see some holes in it somewhere now.
Maybe down towards the ground.
Yeah.
But you're talking about 55 years ago that we built that. That was one of the first things Dad built.
Copper does the same thing. It corrodes and deteriorates. It turns green and starts deteriorating.
Yeah.
Concrete. A man told me concrete will stay for 100 years, but then it deteriorates. It starts to deteriorate. And he said it takes 100 years to clear it out. Now I see his tail. I don't know if that's true or not.
I've
He
heard
said
it
it
too.
takes 100 years for it to clear out, and when it clears out, it starts crumbling.
Uh-huh.
You've seen old bridges where the stuff
Uh-huh.
starts crumbling,
Uh-huh.
it starts
Do
deteriorating.
you know how much infrastructure in America that we have right now that's crumbling?
So what?
Do you know how much infrastructure that we have in
Oh,
America
yeah.
that's crumbling?
Yeah,
Roads falling apart,
yeah.
bridges about ready to buckle.
They've been built a long time ago and they're falling, coming apart.
Yep. Yep.
And concrete, they're not built, they're not mixing concrete as good as they used to either. The concrete blocks, they're light, they're made out of nothing. The old concrete blocks were
They got robots now that'll build a whole wall
yeah.
and make it straight. It looks perfect.
Yeah. Everything has got cheap and higher. It ain't no count no more, but yet it's higher. Stuff that you go buy equipment and stuff, it ain't as good as it used to
Well,
be.
think about this. Think about this for a second. Whenever you was in the auto body business, it wasn't until basically the late 60s or the 70s is whenever you started hearing stuff about generic parts.
Yeah.
And it was about the same.
Aftermarket parts.
And it was about the same time whenever we started hearing from the medical industry about generic drugs.
Yeah.
Generic drugs didn't exist, and aftermarket parts didn't exist until along about the 60s or the 70s. Remember that?
Yeah.
Plus, about 10 or 20 years later, then they come up with artificial sweetener.
Yeah.
What was it called? Sweet and Low?
Yeah.
Sweet and Low, something like that? And they claim today that Sweet and Low causes cancer worse than sugar.
Yeah. 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 That
We become sugar addicts.
saccharin was
Yeah, saccharin. But we become sugar addicts. We're all addicted to sugar. Did you know that?
yeah. Well, they put sugar in milk and everything now. Sugar is in everything you eat now.
Why?
They got it in milk.
Why?
Because people want it. It's like makes it better, tastes better. I don't like sugar in the milk, but they put it in it, and that's it. Bread used to mold. They're putting something in bread now, and I don't know what it is, but I bet you $1 poison.
You can keep a loaf of bread on your countertop for a month and it'll still look good, won't it?
Yeah, it don't mold like it used to. Used to, a loaf of bread, if you didn't keep it sealed up good and take care of it, it'd mold in just a little while on you.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to worry about it.
Same way with your fruits and your vegetables. That stuff will stay good twice as long as what it
Yeah,
used
they
to. I don't know if they're spraying stuff on it. I bought a bag of rice the other day. I'm trying to save up some rice whenever all this hits. That way I can maybe survive a little bit longer. But my friend asked me, she said, well, is it waxed? I said, waxed? I said, they're not waxing rice, are they? She said, yeah. She said, you can put it in a cup and do something to it. And if a film floats up to the top, she said, that's wax. That's wax on that rice. And I'm thinking to myself, why would they have done that for? And it must have been for conservative purposes. They were trying to conserve it where it would last 100 years.
Yeah. Well,
But you know good well, wax got to be bad for you.
yeah. See, that's why people got so much cancer and diseases.
Yeah.
What you put in your body is what makes your body.
Yeah.
And if you don't put the right kind of food in your body, it's going to cause some kind of trouble down the road.
Yeah, it will. And these kids growing up today, they don't have no immune system. they're all obese. I ain't talking about fat. They're obese.
Well,
They're obese, Uncle Bill.
yeah, it's
People's no longer working like they used to. Now they want to sit and tap around and call that work.
yeah. Well, them computers, you understand? It's like kids always play on 3M telephones. You know,
Right.
I go to church. When I was going to church, they give the kid their phone. That's the thing. When listen to preachers, they sit and play down the phone all the time. The church service was wrong. That's wrong. They ought not to done that.
I was told the other day that they took a phone away from a child, and that child would not quit screaming and quit hollering until they gave the phone back to that child.
Huh?
You know how old the child was, Uncle Bill?
Oh,
6 months old.
that's the shit.
6
They let
months
the child-
old. Don't become addicted to that.
Yeah, they're letting the child control them. The phone. That's what the TV started out ruining the world, and the computer is winding it up.
Well, it's awful.
It ain't nothing on TV to watch no more. You turn the TV on, it's commercial. It's selling something.
I know.
It's all commercialized.
I know. And you know, you can look at any of my social media. It don't matter if it's Facebook or YouTube, and I do not promote commercials. I don't promote them. And you know what? I could probably be getting a check right now from Elon Musk, because if you get a certain amount of people out there that's watching the stuff that you're putting out, they'll actually pay you for that.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they have commercials that comes in there, and that people can watch and see what kind of cereal commercial or what kind of whatever commercial. Yeah, so it's actually the people that own the cereal companies that's paying
Yeah.
for those advertisements on YouTube, social media.
Well, the TV, you can turn the TV on. Most of the time when you turn it on, it's commercials are on. They all go to the same time.
They're in sequence.
You turn channels, they on commercials.
Yeah, they're in sequence.
They
So they figured out how to do that. That way you're gonna have to at least sit and watch one of them.
commercials.
Yeah, you go watch a commercial every 15 minutes, ain't it? About every 15 minutes. Sometimes they got so many commercials, you get to wonder, well, my God, are they going to go back to the
Well,
show?
where they last 5 minutes now. They'll come on 5, maybe 6 minutes commercial, and then they'll show movies of 5 minutes, and then back in the commercials.
Well, who's going to win the Super Bowl, Uncle Bill?
I have no idea, and I don't care. I don't keep up with it.
Did you know that President Trump's going to be at the Super Bowl? Did you know that it's the only time that any president has wound up in a Super Bowl?
Well,
You got any idea what kind of security's going to be down there in New Orleans in that Rose Bowl,
Yeah.
whatever they call it down there? You have any idea how much security's going to be down there?
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. You know, when I was up north, back a long time ago, you may not remember, the ball players struck. They had a strike. Well, I kept up with the ball games and everything, kept up with it, everything.
The Cubs.
And they struck. The ball players struck. And I quit watching ball. I don't watch it no more. It made me mad. I kept up with the ball, watched all the ball teams, the Cardinals, I watched them play, the
Cubs, Chicago Cubs,
and watched the Chicago White Sox,
White Sox.
and watched all of them, and the Yankees. I always liked the Yankees. They had good players, you know. And they struck. That made me mad, and I just quit watching. I just quit watching any
I
ball.
think they done that in the early '80s, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, the workers in Humboldt now, electric workers, they're going to strike. They're making $40 an hour, and they're striking for $10 more. They want $10 more an hour. River said they ain't doing nothing but sitting on their tails over there now. And they want $10 more an hour.
Gibson County Electric Company's fixing to go on strike.
Yeah, that's what they said. I don't know if they're going to strike, but they're talking strike. Wanting $10 more an hour. That's a lot of money. Most people don't make $10 an hour.
$10 an hour, 40 hours. That's $400.
Yes, that's more. And they're already making $40 an hour. I'd give them $50 an hour. Electric bills are going to go up.
Sure. Pass it on down to the
Consumers.
consumers.
Yeah.
And eventually people keep, having to declare bankrupt. I think they said that this year, or this past last year, that was before the fourth quarter come in, that we already owed 1.2 trillion
Oh, it ain't no
just
telling.
in credit card indebtedness, just in credit card alone. And they said that a certain percentage of people out here driving these cars, they're not making their payments, and a certain percentage of people living in these homes, they're not making their payments neither. This thing is really about ready to burst.
Yeah. Well, they
Collapse. It's about ready to
the
collapse.
county of rental property is renting anywhere from $1,000 to $25,000 a month for stuff.
You
I
can't
don't know
even
how
get
people
you can't
pay
get
it.
a studio apartment in Nashville right now in Davidson County for no less than about $2,000 a month, and that's something rinky-dink. That's small. That's about the size of this one room right here.
Yeah.
If that be the case, you could rent out the front section, rent out the middle section, and rent that section out for $6,000 a month. Have 3 families in here, Uncle Bill.
Jason, he was going to rent a place in Nashville because he drove the truck out of Nashville. They wanted $1,000 a month for 2 little rooms, and he had to pay all the utility room. I told him, I said, you don't need that. You can't do that. That was 25 years ago. They ain't no telling what they're renting it now for.
2,000 or over.
It's stuff is all out of hand.
It's tough. It's tough for a young couple out there now that's got any children trying to make it. Good luck. Good luck.
Laura said to the family where she works at, of 4, that her grocery bill every week is running $400. Her grocery bill for a family of 4.
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that.
Well, mine, I can go up here and buy a month groceries for me, and it's over $200. And I used to buy the very same stuff for $80-something.
Uh-huh.
That was 4 years ago.
Uh-huh. Well, listen, I'm fixing to go to Murray. You want to go with me?
I ain't going to Murray. I
Why?
used to go to Murray a lot. What are you going to Murray for?
I'm going to a rodeo.
Huh?
I'm going to a rodeo. I'm going to a
In Murray?
rodeo.
Where at?
In Murray, Kentucky.
What, is it inside?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a rodeo in Murray this time of year.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to stay here.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm going to stay here. I like to stay at home. I don't go nowhere no more much.
All right. I thought I'd at least offer.
No.
But you did scare me a little bit a while ago. Whenever
What
I come up
about
on,
the dog? You gonna carry it in the rodeo too?
you can't put a dog in a rodeo.
Well, you can. You gonna leave it set cooped up in your car the whole time you're in the rodeo?
Oh, yeah.
Is it potty trained?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So far, he ain't made a boo-boo. That don't mean
How
he
long
won't.
have you had it?
About 2 weeks, 3
Oh,
weeks.
well, okay.
He's about 7 months old. He weighs 72 pounds. Cause I took
He's a
him
big
to
old dog.
I took him to the vet yesterday. And had
Big
him
dogs
checked.
don't live as long as little dogs.
No. This is part of his pedigree.
How old dog is it now?
7 months old.
7 months. Okay.
He's still growing.
Yeah.
They average between 90 and 100, 135, 140 pounds.
Yeah.
They're a mountain dog. They were a mountain dog. That's where
What did you want a dog for?
because I ain't got no companion. I've been over there at the property over there for 10 years.
Why don't you get you a cat?
I do, but they don't want to become affectionate to me until they get hungry, and then all they do is hang around the ankles. They don't want to get affectionate with me no more.
Well, get you a bird. a dove, a turtle dove, or a pigeon.
Everybody down there, Uncle Bill, is still either upset at me or they think that I'm a nut job,
Well,
or
aren't
they're
you?
scared of me, because of all the deceitful lies that went out. And I really did. I tried to prevent from us being where we are right now, towards basically being at the state of collapsing. I did. I tried. And you know what? If people would have got in behind the ministry that God had called me into, I truly believe it right now. We would have already been called home to God.
Yeah.
We'd have done already the second coming, the second global resurrection, which actually is the first global resurrection, would have already taken place, and God would have already taken us out of all this hullabaloo down
Well,
here.
changing subject, what are you living in?
I'm living in an RV, like all these other people out here.
You got a big RV?
It's pretty good size.
Yeah. Okay. You got it stationary? Is it underpinned and everything?
Yeah, it's got a belly on it.
Got what?
A belly.
Got a what?
A belly.
A belly.
A belly. That means you don't have to worry about insulating it.
Oh.
It's already pre-insulated.
It's all inside, like the plumbing and everything.
Yeah, of course you got to insulate your outside pipes. You got to do all that.
Yeah.
That ain't no big deal.
Well, how many people will it sleep?
It could sleep probably 6.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty good size. It's got a slider. It's got a slider on
Is
it.
it
So.
20, 30 foot long or what?
I think it's about 34 foot. It ain't all that long.
Same the Maxwell ones?
Yeah. And it's fairly new. I think it's a 20 and 15.
Well, it's good enough to live in. That's
20
good.
and 15. For a single man, yeah.
Yeah. You don't. I don't need this bigger house.
No, you don't. You really don't. But it's nice. I like having a big place like this.
It's a lot to maintain, and it takes 2 people really to maintain a house.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Take I always took care of the outside, but it took care of the inside.
Right.
Now I take care of all of it, and I stay pretty busy doing it.
Oh, I imagine.
If anything ever happened to this, it burned something, I would put probably a single wide in here, you know.
Right. Something a lot
I
smaller.
probably would, but older I am, I may not put nothing.
Right.
Because I ain't gonna live much longer probably.
Well, you don't know that.
I'll be lucky if I live another 2 or 3 years.
Ain't you already 93?
I'm 91. I'll be 92 this coming June.
What year was you born?
Year 33, 1933.
33.
Okay. June 1933, 6 and 12 and 33.
Well, the ground shifted whenever you come into the world, didn't it?
Huh?
The ground shifted whenever you come into the world.
Yeah. But this place, this is a good house. It was well insulated. It's easy heated. My gas bill was only last winter. The highest I had was $49. I've already got a $60 one. They done gone up on it. They've raised it up 20%.
Have they?
Yeah. The electric bills went up. The gas bills went up. The water bills went up.
How about your license, your tags and stuff?
How much what?
Your tags.
My taxes?
Your tags.
My tax.
Your tags on your car. Did they
tags?
go up?
Both vehicles about $140. I don't have we don't have road stickers no more.
Right.
But they slapped a $20 fee for school on it for 7 years. It cost $79. It cost $79. Everything for the license of the vehicle. I'm gonna buy and take license for my truck this time.
Are you?
Yeah. It's an 89 truck. It's an old truck. I'm gonna buy antique plates.
Well, that's a one-time deal, ain't it?
Yeah, you ought to buy no more license.
You don't have to buy no more.
But it's a limit to driving, but it is anyhow. I don't drive it much anyhow.
Yeah.
I drive it up to the store.
So you're going to get an antique plate.
Huh?
You're going to get an antique plate.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I had an old Ford truck. Yeah, I had antique plates on it.
You did?
Yeah, 79 Ford truck, and I sold it. I got that old Buick down
What'd you do with your boat? You still got your boat?
I still got my boat.
Do you?
I don't fish no more, but I still got my boat. I ain't fished in the last 3-4 years.
Why? The quality of fish ain't no good? The fish ain't no good no more, Uncle Bill?
It gives me out. I go fishing wears me out, and I come in. I got to do all the cooking and eating, everything, and I can't do it no more. I had to give up something.
Well, also, ain't they full of something, lead or something out there?
Say what?
Isn't the fish contaminated in the Tennessee?
Got mercury in them.
Mercury?
Yeah. I don't eat them.
And of course, you got all those Cajun carp out there.
Yeah, they in there now, but they ain't as bad as they was. I think they've been netting them, getting them out.
Have they?
Yeah.
Would you want to sell that boat, or have you already done made promises to somebody?
No, I ain't gonna sell it.
You ain't
I'm
gonna sell
gonna give it to my grandson.
one of your grandkids. But you was telling me that somebody hit Lori in a hit and run.
Hit and run, the rear end, damaged their the little gate comes up and the rear bumper.
Uh-huh.
That's all they done. They did no kind of straightening. They just painted something, put it on. It was over $5,000 to fix it.
Wow.
Randy hit a deer with his truck, messed up the front bumper, the front fender, and the door. I think he's gonna run $7,000 something to fix it. To put a bumper and a fender and a door on it.
Well, how's their business over there doing?
Huh?
How is their business over
It's
there
good.
doing?
They're working about 40 or 50 people.
Yeah, they're doing good then, ain't they? They're doing real good then, ain't they?
Yeah. They got a good business, but it's a lot of, they got a lot of overhead. They had a lot of money. They had to pay each
Lord,
worker $30 an hour.
There ain't no telling how much taxes that they pay every year.
They ain't no telling. Their gas bill and vehicles on the road. They ain't no telling what that runs their
Uh-huh.
their insurance on their vehicles.
It'd be in the millions. It'd be in the millions.
It's
And that ain't counting the schooling. That ain't counting the equipment. That ain't counting liability insurance in case they get out here and tear up something. If they
Yeah.
tear up something on somebody's house, that could be $4,000 or $5,000 real
Yeah.
quick,
yeah.
So
Well,
I mean, there's a lot of liability there.
yeah.
More liability than what I'd want. Yep. Well, I'm fixing to get on, man.
Okay. Well, go over and see that rodeo.
I am.
What time does it start?
I think it starts at 7.
Gosh, it's almost 4 o'clock. It's time for me to eat. Just lay the thing on the counter there. Be good. I'll take care of it.
All right. Good seeing you.
Yeah. Well, you be careless here.
Good luck to all of us, right?
Say what?
Good luck to everybody. Good
Yeah.
luck to all of us.
I got a funny feeling that after you're gone, things are gonna get a whole lot harder on people like me. And after I'm gone, it's gonna get a whole lot harder on the generation below me. You know what I'm saying? It's just getting
Yeah.
worse and worse and worse.
It's gonna get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Well, I done lived longer than I thought I'd ever live, so.
You doing all right? I see right now, though, I'm gonna talk to Carrie Lee about getting your grandmother's real name.
Yeah, you'll have to see him. I don't know.
I know. That's fine. That's fine.
All right, you be careless.
You take care of yourself. Good to
Okay.
see you again.